Sashiko samplers. What do you think is the most common question that I see on the Facebook sites of beginners making sashiko? Well, it's this. If I take this sampler out and I open it up, here's the pattern, but there's this extra piece of fabric. And the most common question is what to do with this piece of fabric. So let's take a look at that. Now, I do talk about this in some of my Sashiko sampler videos, but I see this question so often, I decided just to make a short video dealing with this by itself. You don't see this in all samplers and kits. It's more common in the ones that come from Japan, and also it's the most common in this particular size sampler. That's because it's made as a cloth and they're highly decorated. Japanese people make these cloths and they use them for clean kitchen jobs like drying dishes. I've read that a mother might make them for her daughter, perhaps when she gets married or gets her own house. So these Hanafukin, they are for clean kitchen work, so perhaps drying dishes, but also for perhaps using in a basket with food laying on there, or to cover bento boxes, perhaps in the preparation of food. And they're not to be confused with Zokin, which are these kind of things, used for other kinds of cleaning, floor washing maybe, the more dirty jobs. And these are just made out of very old fabric and still have some sashiko patterning on them. And these are great fun to make out of old tea towels and old cloths, leftover fabric. I do have a video how to make Zokin if you're interested in doing those, and these are actually great beginner projects if you're just learning sashiko. I use mine for lots of things. Not drying dishes. After all the work that I've spent doing that, that's not my plan to use for these. So I use them for cushions and decorations and just different things. So, okay, so some samplers come from other places. Now this one, for example, is from, I think it's from Australia. I don't have the packaging anymore. And it's just a decorative one. I think it's a Christmas one that I haven't actually done yet. But as you can see, there's no extra flap with this one. Most of the samplers I buy are from Japan, so I can't say it's always the case that if it's from another country they don't have it. But I believe it's more the intended purpose of the sampler rather than the origin. This sashiko is also made in Japan, and I'm going to open it and see, but I'm pretty sure this won't have the back flap because this is a really large sashiko that I'm going to do. So I'm just going to take it out, open it up. It says on there made in Japan, so you'll see. Let's open these pieces. And no, it's a single layer, which is what I thought it would be. But I want to show you the difference in the fabric here as well. This is very difficult to show on camera. It's more something I can feel with my fingers, but I'm trying to give a close-up here. This fabric is much sturdier, denser, thicker than the sampler that I was holding before. So if I just put that to one side for a second, and let's see if we can see the fabric on this one a little bit better. It's much flimsier. Really, I like to do the navy blue ones, but I do the white sometimes, but I thought it would be perhaps easier for you to see on this white. Do you see that this fabric is thinner? You can see my hand through there. It's a little bit more of an open weave fabric. Now these are, well, this is a linen cotton mixture. Let's see what this one is. The panel that I just showed was just cotton by itself. So there is a difference in the fabric you make, but this linen cotton mixture is very common in these sashiko samplers. So the short answer to the question is it's intended to be folded back and the two layers sewn through. But of course you don't have to do that if you don't want to. But here are the reasons that I do. It makes a much more stable sewing area. It feels nicer when you stitch. It's easier to keep out the puckers that can be common in Sashiko stitching. You have an area that is in between where you can hide. If you want to carry thread from one stitch to another, you can hide it between the layers and it won't show on the back of your work. So there are advantages to doing that. When I see this question on Facebook, I see loads of answers of different things, and none of the answers are wrong. It's just how people have found a useful way to use these backs. So some people say they cut the back off and use it for another project. Some people say they sew it into a cushion using the back. And there's nothing wrong with any of those methods if that's what you choose to do. My comment is just that the original intention was that the fabric would be used double. And I like that so much that if I'm using a linen cotton fabric like this for something where I do my own design on, I do sometimes just use a double layer of fabric just because. I have some Essex linen that I've bought to do some Sashiko on, and I'm going to use that double. On this very thin fabric, a dark colour would show through if I just used a single layer, so that's another reason I do that. So how do you finish the edges on these if you are going to use the double fabric? So I have a couple of examples here to show you. This is a finished one. The double fabric was folded back and I did sew through both layers. And what I did on this one was, before I began, I ironed the fabric flat. You can see it comes with all these creases in here. And just a word of warning here, don't use steam on this. If you do, the pattern will disappear. But I've never had a problem using a dry iron on these. I still, just because, I do like to test the pattern, so I will just take my iron in just a very small corner of something, a simple part, and just put the iron on there and make sure that it doesn't disappear. But I've never had it disappear. It does need the water to make it disappear, generally speaking. But I still would advise you to test it, because you certainly don't want to lose some of your pattern. And I know a lot of people think that you can't iron on this fabric, but you can iron on it. Have you been afraid to do that? My pattern has never disappeared. I do usually iron on the reverse side as well. So once I've ironed it flat, on this one I folded it right sides together and did a machine row around the edge and then turned it through. So I have a finished edge here. So this one can be used for standing a lamp on or whatever I want to use it for. It's a finished piece. Now, if I'm not going to finish the edges, if I'm going to make a cushion with it or put it into a quilt, make a bag, any of those things, then I just put it so it's with raw edges and it's already ready to sew. I've just run a machine edge around here just to hold it all in place, but it's on the right side. I don't know whether you can see that or not. Now this one will be finished off in some other way. I haven't actually decided what I'm going to do with this sampler yet, so it's in the pile of undecided. But I really like this. It's really a pretty picture, and this is a really unusual colour for me to do. This is one I might just hang on a wall just because I like it. So if you're new to Sashiko samplers and have been wondering what to do with this extra flap of fabric here, I hope this has answered some of your questions. And I have lots of videos on Sashiko, so if you hit the notification bell, you won't miss some of my other videos. And I hope you enjoy doing your Sashiko. Thanks for watching.